Okay, good afternoon. I'd like to start out by saying that approximately, I'm Mayor Joe Maturo from the town of East Haven. This accident occurred approximately at about 9:57 a.m. is when the call first came into our 911 centers. It came in from a resident at Roses Farm Road, south of the runway. The plane was a single-engine Tomahawk aircraft, two-seater, from Connecticut Flight Academy here at Tweed, New Haven Airport. It took approximately 15 minutes to locate the plane. The plane was located approximately 25 yards off the southeast side of runway 2. There were 2 male occupants on board. We are not releasing their names because the identities have not been confirmed, and neither have next of kin. The plane had just taken off from Tweed Airport and reported a mayday. Turning around, it fell from the sky. We have 1 male is deceased, 1 is at Yale New Haven Hospital. On scene is EHPD, FD, DEEP, CAA, the State Police Department, and the CCT Airport Authority. Mayor Harp is here with us, Executive Director from the Tweed New Haven Airport, Tim Larson, Airport Manager Diane Jackson. Also responding to the scene and helping this event was the Branford PD and the New Haven PD. I will take any questions. If I can't answer them, we will turn them over to the authorities standing behind me. You have any questions? Nothing. Pardon?
What kind of training flight was that?
Executive Tim Larson or?
So this would be what we refer to as a routine training exercise with these 2 individuals. We're still waiting on details from the owner of the company to provide us specifically. We have an idea of the type of the plane and so forth, but we don't really have any history on the 2 people involved.
What's the conditions back there that being able to sort of reach the plane? How difficult?
The conditions were very terrible. Chief Jackson was at the scene. Chief Jackson, would you talk about the conditions?
Yeah, we had some difficulty locating it initially. It's kind of centrally located between Roses Farm Road on one end and the end of the old Aura Avenue here on the other. Access is difficult. We're getting in and out with a gator right now. It was probably a 1,500-yard walk-in, and then we had to find it out in the middle of pampas grass. It wasn't visible from the fence line, and it was only like 25 yards off the fence line. Pretty much about 2 feet of water and ice and stuff we had to tromp through and then break our way through the grass to get to it.
Jackson, was the plane almost completely submerged in the muck?
No, the plane is visible. The only thing is the pampas grass, as you can see in the area over here, it's about 10 feet tall in most places. So the plane is located in the grass. It's not a fairly dry spot. It's muddy. It's partially into the mud. But you could be 10 feet away and you can't even see the opening that it made due to the height of the grass.
Any other questions?
Was this a mechanical failure or is it too
Well, it's too preliminary to say what the problem was. It's still under investigation, and FAA is still on the scene, so it'll be a while before they can determine exactly what caused the plane to fall.
Do you know when the Mayday call came in and then how soon after the plane crashed?
Tim?
We can get you that specific information. That it would have been recorded, and so we're using approximately 9:57 on that call.
Did the Mayday call reveal anything that was wrong with the plane at the time?
Not certain yet. Still under investigation.
Do you know who was behind the controls when the plane went down? Whether it was the person?
Still under investigation.
And do you know the person who passed away is the one that was in the pilot seat or the co-pilot?
That would still be part of the investigation.
Approximately how soon after the plane took off did that Mayday call come in?
Still being determined.
We got the call at 9:57. Anyone else? Mayor Harp, would you anything you'd like to add?
No, the only thing that I want to add is that it's a very sad occasion, and that I'd also like to commit and comment upon the action of the East Haven Police Department and their fire department and the cooperation of Brantford and New Haven, and to thank them for their cooperation.
Thank you, Mayor. Do we have anything else to add? Any other further questions?
Were these two people on board, the two men, were they from the area? Do you know where they're from in Connecticut?
We haven't identified them yet. That's still in the process of the investigation. And as soon as that we're able to identify them and notify next of kin, we'll get that information out.
Is there anything you'd like to say to residents of East Haven? This is the second plane crash that they've had in the area in the past couple of years, Mayor?
Well, it's always very unfortunate whether we have an airplane crash or a motor vehicle crash. I mean, these things do happen. I do understand the people's concern. However, I do feel as though that this is a safe airport, that the FAA and the airport authority do as best they can in keeping everyone safe, the same as our police department and the state police do on our roads. I think they have a very good track record here at Tweed.
In terms of the investigation, what is the next step?
Chief?
Or pretty much, Chief Lennon, you want to get in here?
At this time, we're going to try to figure out, we're first working on identifying both occupants of the plane and confirming who they are. After that, we're going to determine what exact factors caused the crash. We'll be working both us along with state and federal authorities trying to determine what exactly happened. So we don't have that much more information at this time because it's kind of ongoing as of right now.
Can you please identify yourself?
I'm Ed, but I'm the police chief.
Can you talk about some of the things that you look at when you're investigating a plane crash?
It's you say one.
You know, at some point, the FAA and the NTSB will come in and take over the scene and start to do their due diligence on that at some point, very soon.
Can you talk about how often you and New Haven and East Haven and the airport authority train for this sort of event, and what sort of goes into that made this response today something that was able to happen as quickly as possible?
Well, I will say that, you know, we have an amazing relationship with two incredible departments, not only the New Haven and East Haven fire departments, but the New Haven and East Haven police departments. We train annually on real live exercises. We have a triennial event where every 2 years we do a live exercise where we actually train diligently, and every year we do a tabletop exercise. So the skill of these professionals is incredible. Their level of detail is amazing. I think that I could comment with Doug Jackson here, could probably comment a little further on the level of training even in today's exercise. Doug, I don't know if you want to comment on any of that, but
We're all familiar with each other. We've had an incident before, and we are currently planning the triennial with the airport management right now. We've had several meetings on it already, and the New Haven departments, both of them, and East Haven Police and Fire, we work together very well. As I was approaching this, I trotted in as one of the earlier ones getting there. A couple of my people got there first, and I had a police officer next to me, and I had New Haven police coming in from the other side, and we met a few times as we were covering the area trying to locate the thing, and we were all working together on that, you know, through our dispatch, and we had some assistance from the tower as well. They had somebody flying over and trying to hone us in on the right spot.
Given the south side of the airport is in a swampy sort of tidal area, is that one area that you also train in for emergency response?
Yes, we don't spend a lot of time tromping around out there. I'm soaked up to my knees right now, as were everybody else that was with me. But we do plan on it, and looking at statistics and stuff, it's often that might be the area you have to be concerned with off the property.
How difficult as a fire chief is it knowing that it's so difficult to get to the people? I mean, it took 15 minutes to get to these victims.
We do the best we can to find it. We had several locations. We ended up, we split up into different areas. We coordinated with New Haven from their side, so they came in from the other side for us. It's just, it's a difficult spot. We had the right area. The reporting was good. It's just southeast of the approach to runway 2. But it's just accessing it that was difficult. And with the coordination of everybody, we found it as quick as could be expected.
How were you able to get the patients out with those kinds of conditions?
Carried them out. Put about four to six firefighters around them, and we carried them out.
4 to 6 firefighters took each person out?
Yes.
Wow.
Chief, can you talk about when you arrived and you were assessing the situation? Was the gentleman who, to this point, has survived, was he coherent? Was he able to talk?
I can't really get into the medical details of it right now. Sorry.
Okay. Again, our hearts go out to the families. This is a sad day for them, and as soon as we get any other information, we will make sure we get it out to you through my office, Frank Gentilesco, who handles that for us in our department, and the police department will get it to you as soon as possible. Thank you very much and appreciate it. Thank you.
Next press conference is
Thank you, Mayor.
I don't think we'll be holding another press conference, but if we do, we will email and text everybody and let them know.